Welcome to our talk about desire. And this specifically, the subtitle of this talk is How Not to Be an Energetic Octopus. And this came out of a question out of one of our friends here in the community, because I've been talking about love and desire and relationships and how easy it is to become an energetic octopus on the other person. So there's many aspects of desire we could talk about. Being passionate in lovemaking, being passionate in relationships, showing up, all that, right? There's a lot of things we can talk about in terms of desire. But today, for this hour, we're going to focus on how to have desire in life, how to have desire for another person, but not be that energetic octopus that makes the other person try to squirm away, right? So we'll talk about lots of things, but that's kind of where we're going to focus today. We want to talk about this because it's really natural to want to connect with other people. It's natural to fall in love. It's natural to really want to gush and flow into another person, right? This is great joy. Like if I love you, I just love showering you with love. I love that, right? And sometimes when that's sometimes half the reason we even want a partner, right? Is to actually have the opportunity to pour our love out, and this is really healthy. It's a really healthy thing to love. It's a healthy thing to connect. It's a healthy thing to open up and be vulnerable. It's a healthy thing to feel desire inside. But the problem is, as always, when we have attachment to how this is going to turn out, everything goes sideways. And then we end up not getting the very things we desire and not getting the people, or not being able to be with the people we desire. And this can be friendship, right? This can be lovers. This can be anything we want in life, really. But because again, this can show up in all kinds of ways. It can show up in, I really want to hang out with that person. And you just sort of, try to get in with them. And for some reason, they don't return your calls. What is that? Why do you start to get the feeling like they're avoiding you? So this doesn't have to just be romantic. But in the romantic relationship, it's certainly more poignant. So first, let's just talk about desire. So desire in of itself just simply means that I really want something. I crave something. I seek something. And it could be anything. It could be in the middle of winter and saying, oh, sunshine on a beach right now. Oh, how I desire this. Or it could be springtime and you're like, I can hardly wait to get my hands in the dirt. And there's this thing inside of you that just fills you up. And you're like, oh, this is like so exciting. Right? This is really healthy. This is part of being alive. This is part of the creative process. This is part of the law of attraction. This is part of what drives us towards our hopes and dreams and what we want to accomplish and what we want to experience. Right? If we have no desires, then we're stagnant and we're not moving, and we probably start to atrophy in many ways. So in many ways, desire is extremely healthy, and it's part of being alive, right? The challenge is the attachment to getting what we want. That's where it all comes into a problem. And this is where we get confused, because we think, but I desire this thing. Isn't getting the thing part of the desire? Isn't that part of it? Isn't that satisfaction part of the desire? But it's not. Let's say I say, This year, man, I would just love to have a garden to just sink my fingers into, right? What if it doesn't happen? Is my life going to go sideways? Is my summer going to be ruined? Am I going to sit and pout for all of spring because for whatever reason, maybe I got busy, maybe somebody got sick, maybe I ended up working too much? Like, am I going to be beside myself because I never got a chance to work in a garden? Maybe I have a great desire to visit Holland. And I just want to be there in the spring. I want to see the tulips. I want to see the windmills. I want to see the people and the bikes. And I want to see the, amazing things in Holland. I have this great desire. But what if I can't afford it right now? What if now is not a good time to go? What if for some reason, the world shuts down again and we can't travel? Like, who knows? Am I going to now not be happy? Am I going to be like completely sideswiped because I can't get to Holland? Right? It doesn't change my desire to go to Holland. It's just a desire, and you put it out to the universe, and then you see how it unfolds. But as soon as we have I'm getting to Holland come hell or high water, well, that changes everything. Now I have mad attachment to what I'm going to do. This isn't even a desire anymore. It's like an obsession, right? The desire is now attached to an outcome. Well, there's no fun now, right? That's no fun. It doesn't matter what it is. You could have the desire to complete a marathon. And you could put that out there and you could start making choices and eating differently and exercising and running and stretching and training and meeting people and doing all these cool things, right? Because your desire is to complete this marathon, right? The marathon's way over there, but you're going to do all these juicy things in the meantime. That's the point, right? That marathon's way over there. But if you're just like, I'm going to complete that, 42 kilometers no matter what, that's how it's going to happen. And you just drive yourself into it, you're probably going to injure yourself. And you're going to suck all the joy and the excitement and the energy out of the desire. And you're going to forget why you ever wanted to do it to begin with. So now imagine what happens if what you desire, the object of your desire, and that language is really important, the object of your desire is a person. This is not a marathon. It's not a garden. It is a human being with a soul's journey, with infinite possibilities, with growth and change, and a journey to take all unto themselves. And now you have desire, you have attachment, and now you have a human being, and you're putting all this in a bubble. We're in big trouble, right? There's a saying, it's like when things are kind of crazy and you're like, wow, it's like herding cats. That's what happens when we try to make a human being who is an infinite refraction of God, those are just my words, whatever you see it as, into a blow-up sex doll. Because when we objectify another human into something like that, that's what we're basically doing. Add person and stir, right? This is where we become an energetic octopus. I was reading in a book this morning written by Gary Douglas, who is one of the founders of Access Consciousness. And he talked about one of the dangers in life is that we create, I don't know whether he coined the phrase or whether it's someone else's phrase. He called it a pico universe. A little universe. And he said, what happens often is we'll meet someone. And, he talked about this one story. He said he met this woman, they went on a date, and it was really nice. They really liked each other. And later on, he's standing in the shower, and he starts thinking, I wonder if she's the one. oh, I wonder, oh, we could live here. That would be cool. And then we could go do this, and then we could go do that. They just met. But he was already creating a universe where she was a part of that. He has no idea who she is. He has no idea what her desires are. He has no idea what she wants. But he has created a universe that she belongs in. And this isn't our fault. There's a lot of reasons we have this train of thought that literally makes us crazy. And it makes us crazy all the time. It makes us crazy if you're in a relationship right now. You could have been married for 30 years, and this other person still must fit into our mini universe that we've placed them in. Or we could have just met someone, or we could wish we could meet someone. It doesn't matter where we are. One, it's through all of our Hollywood movies, right? The thrill of the chase, and oh my God, and you can find that one, and then we live happily ever after, and oh, there is nothing like that. We're giving this talk today on Valentine's Day, right? Why do we have a Valentine's Day? Some of my worst days of my life were sitting in school while everybody handed out the Valentines to everybody, and that person got 15 Valentines, and that person didn't get any, and that person got one, and that person, what? It's pretty hard to talk about it without being really cynical, right? That it is just a Hallmark thing. It's just an opportunity to sell chocolate and sell cards and go out for dinner, and it's just a consumerist, blah, 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 right? Whatever. But it's in our psyches, right? Oh, look, I'm alone on Valentine's Day again. It's so depressing. Why? Because we've been sold this bill of goods that says, if I find that person, if I find my one and they love me back, I am validated as a lovable human being. It's not true. Just because you have a partner doesn't mean anything. Or just because you don't have a partner doesn't mean anything. Right? It's all created. And so this is where we get it becomes dangerous that we could end up sort of becoming that energetic octopus. You meet someone, you're like, oh, there's so much hope here. I'm so excited. Now, we can still be excited, right? We can still be really excited that we met this person, and wow, this is really cool, and I think they're really awesome, and blah, 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 blah. But that's just, wow, I think this is really cool. I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea even who they are yet. You can date someone for a year and then all of a sudden go, what? Forget about, dating someone for a day. You can be married to someone for 20 years and suddenly go, this isn't working. Right? The universe is a place of endless possibilities. There's no such thing as this creating the mini universe that I'm going to fit this other person into. So imagine, maybe you're dating someone. Maybe you've gone out a couple times. Maybe you've had sex. Maybe you've even met each other's parents or something like that. All these things on the relationship escalator of life. And then what do? If we have the tendency to be relationship octopus, we start to think, oh, we should move in together. Oh, I can just imagine this house, this apartment, this place on the lake. Oh, and the two of us, and then they'll do this, and I'll do this. And maybe we'll have kids, and we'll have a car, and we'll go on vacations, and I'll have someone to do this with. And then we'll do this, and then we'll go to weddings together. And and then one day, oh, we'll grow old together, and we'll just sit there, right? We've literally created a fantasy. This is fantastical thinking. This is not real. It has nothing to do with reality. It's 100% made up in our brain. And the worst of it is we have not considered that this other human also has a path. And that other path is independent of ours. They may have journeys to take and lessons to learn and karma to play with and people to meet and experiences to have. And there may be parts of our lives that overlap. But for the most part, they must have that free will. As human beings, we are a soul on the planet. We have to have free will. If I meet someone and they're like, oh, wow, I am so in love with you, you can almost feel all the parts of their life I'm suddenly satisfying, right? Those are the tentacles. One tentacle goes, oh, we can live together. Oh, my parents will love you. Oh, we can do this. Oh, we can grow old together. Oh, I know you're a great cook. Oh, you have great kids. Oh, and it's just like all this all around. Well, the person who is being objectified or who the other person is seeing as this answer to all of their prayers literally energetically steps back and says, whoa, 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 back off, back off. So we're going to change gears for a minute and we're going to talk about something. And we're going to talk about what it means when we fetishize someone. So I remember one time reading the book, The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf. And she was specifically talking about the fetishizing of women's bodies. And she said, if you say, I only like women who have large breasts, I only like women who have small waists, and we can extrapolate this. I only like men who are tall. I only like men with a certain kind of penis. I only like men who have muscles. I only like whatever. She basically considers this a fetish. Because unless you look a certain way, I'm not attracted to you. I'm only attracted to this body part. I'm only attracted to this aspect of you. It's not the whole person. It's not love. It's not even magnetic attraction from soul to soul. It's actually a mental construct that for whatever reason, I only want you because you have this aspect. So now when you think about people in the world who tend to be fetishized, this could be people who tend to look like whatever Hollywood says is pretty right now. Male or female. This is what's attractive. This isn't what is attractive. And of course, all over the world, it's completely different. Right? Like, it's completely different. That, like, for example, my daughter and I have been watching the show Physical 100 on Netflix. And it's a Korean show of these people who are super fit. And it's a reality TV show. And it's so entertaining. We're so enjoying it. And my daughter was saying, she goes, it's ironic because in a lot of Korean TV, like K-dramas, what is actually considered attractive is a very slim man. Very, very slight. And she said she was reading a documentary or she was reading about it. And they said that oftentimes the men, what is desired in a man is actually so slight that if he's picking up a woman and carrying her into the bedroom, they often have a body double because the star just isn't strong enough to do that. And this is a big generalization. But that's just one vision of beauty that's been placed upon the people. This is fetishizing people, right? It's nothing to do with the person. They just have to fit the picture in our minds, right? We fetishize people who are rich. We fetishize people who are connected. Maybe they have social connections. Maybe they are super successful. Maybe they have a lot of social credit in society. Well, the one thing about people who are used to being fetishized, they will run from an octopus energy every day because they will have been fetishized from the time they were little, right? I remember dating a guy when I was in high school, and he was a bit older, and he was gorgeous. Like, you couldn't stop. You couldn't not fetishize this guy. He was just gorgeous. But he'd had it done to him ever since he was a little boy. Ever since he was little, he had these great big long eyelashes, to the point that when he was 10 years old, he cut off his eyelashes. He was so sick of people looking at him and saying, "Oh, aren't you adorable? You're so sweet. La 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 la." Because the wild thing about people who are accustomed to being fetishized, they don't care if you like their money. They don't care if you like their boobs. They don't care if you like their muscles. They don't care if you like them because they're tall or they're short or they're petite or they're whatever. They actually just want to be loved for the person they are. And so this is the question we always have to ask. If we are attracted to someone and we're sort of, if we feel ourselves being an octopus, having that energy kind of going after someone, are we fetishizing this person? If they didn't look the way they look, would I still want to be around them? If they didn't have the money, would I still want to be around them? If we lived in the middle of nowhere where they weren't known, would I still want to be around them? And it's a very important question because we can tell when we're being fetishized. And it can be for anything, right? So it's a really important note. Because what happens oftentimes is those people, they're kind of like the popular kids in school that for whatever reason, everyone stares at them and everybody wants to date them and everybody else is ignored. Everybody else is like chopped liver, you know? They're just like, oh, whatever. I really want to date the quarterback. I really want to date the girl whose boobs came in first. Whatever, right? All fetishized. And we forget about all the beautiful people around us. And this is really, really important because what happens then is we start to believe in a land of scarcity. We start to believe that there's nobody out there that I'm attracted to. There's nobody out there who will love me back. There's nobody out there for me. And so if I'm attracted to you, I need you to be everything to me because what if I never find another person? What if there's nobody else out there for me? Because we get so focused on, but I have to be with someone who's tall. I have to be with someone who's short. I have to be with someone who's muscly. I have to be with someone who's slim. I have to be with someone who's rich. I have to have someone who's got a good job. Like, what? There's 8 billion people on the planet. There is no scarcity of humans. But our minds have to shift, right? We have to get out of this fetishizing of each other. There's no one in the world who will ever make us happy, right? This person that we are obsessing about, that we are becoming the octopus all over, will not make us happy. If we're not already happy, they won't make us happy. Eventually we'll try to drag them into our sadness. And then they'll leave eventually because they don't want to be sad because they're happy. That's why you're attracted to them. And it's really, really important that if we ever feel like, oh my God, I couldn't live without this person, then we check what's going on. Because of course you can. And this doesn't mean we don't desire them, right? This is, again, we're separating desire and attachment here. We could look at this other person and go, I am so attracted to you. I desire you. I love being in your presence. I love hanging out with you. And that's where it ends. And then we see what grows organically between the people. Maybe something, maybe nothing. But one way or the other, we have to be able to continue in that happy state. The second part of the programming that gets us into trouble is we're kind of taught to have expectations in relationships. We're taught to actually create the vision of our life that we want to have and then move towards it. If you want a house with a partner and children and 2-car garage, vision it, manifest it, make it happen. Right? We're told this. And again, the problem is, as soon as we try to take another human being, alive, sovereign, incarnate, ever-growing, dynamic human, and try to place it in that dollhouse, we're in big trouble. Because now we have expectations, right? We start to realize that, well, maybe it's not the person I desire after all. Maybe the attachment I have to being with them is literally the point, right? All the attachments are actually the expectations I have of the relationship. And I actually maybe don't even care who it is, because all I really want is to fulfill the expectations. So for example, maybe all I really want is I don't want to be alone anymore. Right? So I may be attracted to you, but the greater driver is I don't want to be alone anymore. So I'm going to grasp onto you. I'm going to hold on to you as tight as I possibly can because I don't want to be alone. I'm sick of being alone. I'm sick of being alone on Valentine's Day. Right? That's going to create octopus energy. Because it's not about the person. We're telling the person, it's you I love, it's you I love, it's you I love. But the truth is, it's me I love, and I don't want to be alone anymore. And you, I need you to step in as an object to simply sit beside me so I feel okay about myself. Right? Maybe the truth is I really just want some security. I really want to feel like I can just go home at night and there's someone there. I've got someone to help pay the bills. I've got someone to help raise my kids. I've got someone to just sit and enjoy life with. And I don't want to have to always be wondering. Right? And these are reasonable desires. These are first and second chakra questions. Fitting into society, being part of family, being part of community, interacting with others. These are real things. And a lot of the struggles we have here come out of real trauma in our childhood. Right? It's not like I just chose to be afraid to be alone or need security. These are real things to work through. These are all the reasons we're here on Insight Timer, trying to get underneath the programs and the pain and the sadness that we're feeling, that we do try to fill with another person. This is real. And for generations, we were taught that finding that other person, creating a codependent relationship was a good pill for that. That was a good way to resolve the fact that for millennia we've been living in separation and isolation and sadness. Right? This has been going on for a long, long time. So if we find ourselves in a place where we're like, I just want to feel this, this has been going on for millennia. You know? Sometimes what we really want is we want some entertainment in our life. We're bored. I don't know, I'm kind of bored with watching Netflix. Don't really have a lot going on. A new person. That'd be fun. Interact with a new person. Have sex. Do stuff with this new person. That would be awesome. That'd be exciting. But if you are personally bored in your life, then that's what you're bringing to the relationship. Boredom. And you're going to find someone who's super exciting. But now they're just sort of TV. Like they're just like, oh, good. I can like kind of glob onto all of your fun and all of your personal excitement and all of your passion and your desire. Right? But instead, we need to find fun. And even as a soul, on a soul's path, that's what I'm here for. Right? This unique DNA, this unique holographic life or whatever it is we're living, I'm supposed to figure out what makes me have fun, what brings me joy, where I want to go in life. Right? That's the point. It's never about the other person. And this is what's always interesting, that if we find ourselves sort of globbing onto someone else, the really important thing is on a soul's path, it's not about feeling shame or anything like that. It's about looking within and going, what is it that I desire in this person? So how do I create that in my life? How do I create that in my life every day? Because I obviously desire it. So then how do I bring it into my life? And that's where we really meet whatever our blocks are, our limitations, the stuff we heard when we were children. Oh, you can't do that, or you can't, you're not fun, or you're this, or you're blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, this is when we start to go out and do things for fun, and we learn a musical instrument, or we join the theater, or we do something. We get out into the world and we actually start having fun. Because if we use another person to be our entertainment, they don't want to be that either. Sometimes we simply want to be with someone, depending on what stage of life we're in, because we want to have children. We want to have a family. So we are looking for a potential mate to have children. And this is really important to consider. Like, if that's what I'm truly desiring, then that needs to be the conversation up front and center. Because maybe the person isn't even a romantic partner. Maybe they're just a great partner. Maybe they're a great co-parent. And maybe you both would love to raise children together, whether you're lovers or not. You know, you have sex, you have a baby, whatever, right? It's not that big a deal. But it's really important to be clear about this. Because if you're just like, no, I love you, I love you, I love you, you're the most amazing person in the whole world, you're everything to me, you're blah, 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 blah. But the truth is, you're hoping this is going to be your new baby mama or baby daddy. And then all of a sudden you get together and you start to actually feel kind of committed and connected, and you start intertwining your lives. And the other person, you know, and you're like, oh, wouldn't you love to have a family? And the other person's like, I've never really wanted to have kids. What? Or vice versa, right? It's like, did you only get together with me because you want to have children? So you don't actually want to be with me. You just want to have someone to have children with. And it's a very important delineation, because we haven't always delineated this in the past because we didn't have that choice, right? We didn't have the choice to separate raising children and being lovers and living together. It all just happened. Just that, that's just the way it was historically. But if we actually have a strong expectation, and we actually have a mini universe in the future that includes children, and I want you to be in there, we're in trouble. Unless they have the same desire. I mean, sometimes we match up this way, and you're in love, you both want children, you both want all the same things, and it's brilliant. Right? But not always. And sometimes we really just want to have a sense of family. Right? Sometimes we just want to feel like we're around people who love us. We just want to be able to go to family reunions, and maybe we didn't come from a family that was really like that, or we didn't really have that big family or any kind of family. And that's what we really want. This is important to be clear about. And sometimes, if you even say it, the truth is, I'm so attracted to you. I really, really enjoy your company, and I have to admit, I'm kind of in love with the idea of your family as well. I do have a bit of a vested interest in being a part of something bigger because I never had that. But you can say that. And then it's not in the ethers, right? It's not, suddenly, you've got a new girlfriend or something. You bring her to the family reunion and she's like literally making best friends with every single person in your family. And you don't even know that you want to be with her long term. Right? And not that this is a bad thing to make friends with everybody, but there's just sort of something that's like, and you're like, I just feel like I'm part of your family. And you can just feel like there's something else going on here. And then that guy will start to backpedal. Like, wait a minute, what else is going on here? Because the problem is we start to wonder, do they really love me? Or do they just want to be part of my family? And again, this can happen with wealthy families. This can happen with famous people. This can happen with all kinds of things. Is this person just attracted to me because they want to be seen rubbing elbows with these people, or they want to have an apartment in Manhattan? Like, why are they really attracted to me? So it's a very interesting thing to just be upfront. If we actually have life desires, to just say, this also is online for me. I'm aware of that. And I don't really want it to mess us up, but I don't want you to be surprised or to come out of nowhere or something either. Like, we can just say it. And if the other person's like, yeah, I know, I get that a lot. Thanks for saying that, because I kind of always know it. At least now it's on the table, right? Then you can have a conversation with this other infinite sovereign being. They aren't an object. They may have all kinds of other great ideas that we never imagined. Right? So, of course, what it all comes down to in the end is that we have to be a whole person ourselves. No matter what, whether we are on our own, whether we're part of a couple, no matter what, we have to be happy whether we're there or not, whether they're in our life or not. And this is really, really important. And if I wouldn't be happy, if this person wasn't in my life, why not? Is my life so empty that this other person is the only happiness in my life? This is a problem. I mean, we as a soul, just if we think this big picture, I was not born into this body, into this mind, into this divine presence to not experience happiness unless that person is in my life. That 1 out of 8 billion people is in my life. This isn't true. And it can't be true, right? And one of the big reasons is that it doesn't allow us to change. As human beings, historically, I don't think we did change a lot. We couldn't. We were sort of seriously oppressed. Everybody. Men, women, everybody. And so, if you were born into this situation, you would work at this job until you retired. You would stay married whether you hated them or not. You would, I don't know, maybe you would have affairs on the side just to make whatever. You would just survive. But nothing really changed much. Right? But today is different. Today we actually listen to our soul. We do yoga, we meditate, we listen to our truth. We know that we are constantly renewing and evolving and shifting and learning and growing. Well, if you meet someone and you really enjoy their company and you really like them, the greatest joy is to be along for the dynamic journey of their life. To be there for the new idea and the new change and the new inspiration. Not to put them in a box or put them on a shelf or to keep them the way you found them. right? We have to be alive and growing and expanding all the time. And that might mean not being together. What if that's where your growth takes you? What if that's where their growth takes them? What if their growth takes them to be living in a monastery for the last 30 years of their life? What if the last part of their life they want to move to Nicaragua and you want to live in, Norway? Like, why are we not allowed to continue to dynamically grow and change? And again, this is a lot of this old training, till death do you part. Once you find the one, you grow old together, you die together. This person dies and the other one died 2 weeks later. This is this strange program that got put into us. Is it real? Is it necessary? Is it natural? Does it follow human potential and growth and dynamic experiences? Or is it just that thing? You get married, you have the babies, and it literally is like that ball and chain. And this is your existence. And we praise you for it if you last through 65 years. So instead, if we don't want to be an energetic octopus, what do we do? So of course, this morning I was reading this book all about access consciousness. And one of the things I love about access consciousness is which is a modality if you've never heard of it. It's very cool if you Google it. They're all about expansion. They're all about living in an expansive state. And so what they'll say is, instead of saying, this is what I want, they'll say, what would it take for this to come into my life? How does it get any better than this? And we just sort of open this up to the universe, and then we follow the breadcrumbs. That's it. We've put it out there. This is what I desire. I desire a dynamic, exciting, passionate relationship with someone. What would it take for that to come into my life? And then I go on with my day. Maybe you meet someone. Maybe you feel called to take a course. Maybe you feel a call to move. Maybe you feel like you want to go to a night class. Who knows what you want to do? But you just now follow that. You don't lose the desire. The desire is still there, 100%. But you now allow the universe to fill in the blanks, fill in the colors, see how it shows up, right? And the thing about following the breadcrumbs is that we do it happily, right? One of my favorite Buddhist sayings is that there is no path to happiness, that happiness is the path. And that's a huge part of this, right? That even the desire for relationship, the desire for connection, friends, lovers, family, all that, we just put it out there. And then we just happily live our life. And everything falls into place. And then one day you look around and you go, wow, I never imagined it would happen this way. How cool is that, right? Still stemming from the initial desire. But it all comes in ways that we never could have imagined it. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have a wonderful day.